he's going at the end of round 5, early round 6. This is a guy who 2 seasons ago had 98 receptions. There's no doubt in my mind this guy could be getting 110 targets, probably getting another 90 to 95 receptions. Absolutely should be going a little bit earlier than round number 6.
Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
All right, we've got 5 veteran players who I think people are undervaluing right now. According to their ADPs, these numbers just don't add up. First player I have, DJ Moore. What do the Buffalo Bills need badly? A number 1 wide receiver. Dalton Kincaid? I have some worries about whether or not he's going to be healthy over the next, few weeks, few months, few seasons. Khalil Shakir? Solid. But Keon Coleman? Disappointment. Bell? Just a rookie. So there's opportunity galore for DJ Moore, who is a supreme route runner, spectacular against zone defenses, solid against man coverage, and Josh Allen needs a number 1 target to throw to. Look, he ran out of time there with Chicago. He just wasn't gelling with Caleb Williams.
You gelling yet?
Ben Johnson decided to go with Luther Burden, Colston Loveland. It wasn't working out for DJ Moore. That doesn't mean DJ Moore is not a good receiver. He is. And according to my numbers right here, he's going at the end of round 5, early round 6. This is a guy who 2 seasons ago had 98 receptions. There's no doubt in my mind this guy could be getting 110 targets, probably getting another 90 to 95 receptions. Absolutely should be going a little bit earlier than round number 6. Undervalued guy number 1, DJ Moore. All right, number 2. You know who's really undervalued? Chris Godwin. Do you know that Chris Godwin is going right now in round 9 in ADP? And Ibuka's going in what, round 5?
I was not aware of that.
Does that seem right to you? Doesn't seem right to me. Where's Mike Evans? Oh, he's out in San Francisco. Who do you think Baker Mayfield's first look is going to be? I think it's Chris Godwin. Let me tell you something about Ibuka. Ibuka started the year looking great. And then didn't it seem like he had a case of the drops in the middle of the season? Like when there was an important play, just wasn't making it. I think Godwin is the number 1 look in this offense. Look, Ted Hurst could be a good rookie one day. Give him some time. Tez Johnson, some time. Jalen McMillan, he's not Chris Godwin. There's one receiver in this offense that I think is the star receiver. I think it is Chris Godwin. And I'm not saying I don't like Ibuka, and I think he could solve his drop problem, right? But when Baker Mayfield, it's 3rd and 8, who is he looking to? I think it's Chris Godwin. If you can get him in round 9, that's a steal for me. What is the knock on Godwin? His inability to stay healthy. But look, it's fantasy football. Do you want a guy with a high floor? You want a guy with a high ceiling? I'd argue that Godwin is both. When healthy, he's a guy with a high floor each week and a high ceiling for the season. I really like Chris Godwin. I think he's being terribly undervalued. The Washington Commanders have Terry McLaurin as their number 1. Okay, he's their number 1 target. They drafted Antonio Williams, and everybody thinks the world of him, and I do too. I think he's got ability, but once again, for the 3rd team in a row, it's a rookie receiver. Rookie receivers don't come in and all of a sudden catch 70, 80, 90 balls. It's rare. I'm not saying it's impossible. It just feels more rare than not. Who are we overlooking in Washington? Do you know who they went out and got and gave a 3-year contract to? Chigoziem Okonkwo. Chigoziem Okonkwo went to the University of Maryland, by the way, and a good receiver and very good after the catch. What if I told you that it's not crazy to think that Chigoziem Okonkwo might actually be the number 2 target on this team behind Terry McLaurin?
Get out of here.
Now listen, I would be taking Antonio Williams in dynasty drafts. I get that. But if I'm trying to win this year in a fantasy league, I think Chigoziem Okonkwo is very undervalued. He's going in round 16 right now. 16 for a guy who I think could be getting maybe 70 catches. Would you rather have Brenton Strange or Chigoziem Okonkwo? I think I'm taking Chig. I think I might take Chig over Kenyon Sadiq. And it's not that I don't think Sadiq is a terrific athlete. He is. But do you trust the Jets to throw the ball to Sadiq 75 times? I don't know about that. But I do think that Chigoziem Okonkwo is going to be a big part of this Commanders offense. And I think he is very undervalued, especially in round 16, I'll take that all day. Player number 4, Rico Dowdle had a 2-week monumental explosion of his talent last year, where he ran for 389 yards over 2 weeks. It was almost like we all prayed to the fantasy gods, and Rico Dowdle answered our prayers and was sensational.
My prayers have been answered.
Then we all said to ourselves, well, Chuba Hubbard is hurt. How would they ever go back and to Chuba when Rico Dowdle is playing so well? Well, what did Dave Canales do? By the end of the season, it was more Chuba Hubbard and less Rico Dowdle. So where does Rico Dowdle go now? He goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, he's playing for Mike McCarthy, who coached him when he was in Dallas. I think Rico Dowdle has a very good year with Pittsburgh. Now, look, I like Jaylen Warren. I think Jaylen Warren is talented, and Jaylen Warren is a terrific blocker out of the backfield and catches the ball beautifully. But is there a world where Rico Dowdle is the first and second down running back for Pittsburgh? Is there a world where Mike McCarthy says, I know this guy, I trust this guy, I'm going to make sure that he gets carries? I think that world does exist. And I think this is a world Rico Dowdle is going in round 8. What if Jaylen Warren should get injured? Caleb Johnson? Guy stinks. As much as I wanted Caleb Johnson to be successful, he looked clueless last year. Now, maybe he picks it up this year, but I'm doubting that. But I think Rico Dowdle could end up at least 50-50 with Jaylen Warren, and maybe even a chance for 60-40 in his direction. Remember, new regime, new coaching staff, new opportunities. I like Rico Dowdle. And number 5, the last one for you, Michael Pittman Jr. Now, this one was strange to me because when I was looking at it here, DK Metcalf is going in round 6. Michael Pittman Jr. is going in round 9. But wasn't it like 2 or 3 years ago that Michael Pittman Jr. was going in late round 2, early round 3 in fantasy drafts? But let's not forget, Anthony Richardson was throwing him the football. Mr. Unreliable. Daniel Jones played well until he got hurt. Maybe we have forgotten just how good Michael Pittman Jr. is.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Jeremy Bernard, what's my theme? Rookies coming to teams not necessarily going to get themselves 60, 70 receptions, and I don't think Jeremy Bernard will either. DK Metcalf, this one is tough because I think Aaron Rodgers will throw to him a couple of times in each half, making big plays downfield, but Rodgers doesn't really go for those deep passes anymore. Who is he going to find? Michael Pittman Jr. on these underneath middle of the field routes. That's where Pittman thrives. That's where Rodgers thrives. Now look, could there be Darnell Washington? Sure. Patty Fry? Sure. But I think that Rodgers is going to absolutely love throwing the football to Michael Pittman Jr. And if you can get him in round 9, he might be your 5th receiver. Certainly your 4th. And certainly a guy who is more than capable of getting 80 catches for close to 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. There's a world where that happens, and I think he is tremendously undervalued. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Leave a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. But either way, please subscribe. Please like our channel. And this is Dr. Roto saying be well and take care.